Hey, welcome back. My name's Justin, and today's going to be an early look at the prototype for the new ddrum 5 drum module, which should be coming out later this year. The drum set that you'll see me playing occasionally through this video with some blurry footage. Sorry about that, camera focusing problem. The drum set is a ddrum hybrid, so it's very simple, one zone triggers, one ply mesh heads, and then some Chinese cymbals I think from HXM. Today's video though is more going to be about the ddrum 5 and whether or not we should be excited about it. But first, today's video is brought to you by Edrum Center, your electronic drum superstore based in Tennessee. If you're shopping for electronic drums, go check them out with my discount link below. They sell accessories too. Just go check out the website. Okay, so what exactly is the ddrum 5, and why does it look vaguely familiar? This is because ddrum is partnering up with Tubox, another electronic drum company, in order to make this new module. It's based off of previous Tubox modules, but with some modifications. When I got a chance to go see this, it reminded me of the Cat Percussion KTM-1, because that's another electronic drum company that partnered with Tubox in order to make their own module. The ddrum situation is similar, but taken maybe a step farther. The KTM-1 is basically an exact match for the Tubox Drum at 3. Maybe it has some unique sounds or slight modifications, but it's pretty much a one-to-one. But if we bring in the ddrum 5, it actually looks like it's more of a match for the Tubox Drum at 5. It's not an exact match because you can see the kit selector buttons on the Drum at 5. They're kind of missing from the ddrum 1. You can see these two buttons from the left side of the screen are no longer there. But as a general overall vibe, it kind of feels like it's matching up against that nicer, higher tier module from Tubox. And if we flip to the back of the modules, once again, the Cat Percussion 1 and the Tubox Drum at 3 are a one-to-one match, and then the Tubox Drum at 5 Mark II and the ddrum 5 are basically an exact match. But once again, this is a prototype, and just because the prototype kind of matches the Tubox Drum at 5, we don't know if it will actually, at the end of the day, be the guts, the actual internals of the 5 or the 3. So now let's switch over and talk about what we actually do know about this module. The first is new sounds are being recorded by the people that worked on the ddrum 4. So that's great. They're not just taking all the sounds from the Tubox. There will be definitely a bunch of Tubox sounds inside of this, but also brand new sounds being recorded specifically for this module. The second thing that we know is that they're working on a version 2 of the ddrum hybrid drum set that will have 2-zone triggers, but this module will be sold standalone. I was told at the booth this will be selling for about $1,000. And finally, the release date is going to be Q3 or Q4 of 2024, so this year. Now let's talk about what we don't know. We don't know how many kits will be included. We don't know how many sounds will be included. We don't know an exact release date, just kind of like a vague, the second half of the year sort of thing. And we don't know what the screen will look like, because I was told at the booth that the screen that I saw in the prototype will be switched out in the final version for a nicer screen. So next up, what about the sounds? Right now, there's only 4 kits that have been recorded brand new for this module, and they're currently working on sampling more. What I played, I personally really liked one of them, had a really nice big sound. I can't remember the name of the kit, but I really liked that one kit. The other ones, I wasn't really connecting with as much. It's a prototype and we can't be too harsh about these things. I'm not making a judgment about the module at all because this is just an early first look at something they're still working on. Because it's got the architecture of a Tubox module, I would assume that means that you can go on the Tubox website, and if they have new samples that drop on the website, you should be able to download those and put them in the module, but I have not confirmed that with the company. Okay, so next up, let's talk about pricing. So the ddrum 5, I was told, will retail for $1,000 at launch. So if we compare that versus the other, Tubox variants, the Tubox Drum at 3 is selling for about $900 to $1,000 in the US, depending on the website. And then the Tubox Drum at 5 Mark II is selling for $1,300 at Sam Ash or $1,365 on Amazon. So whether or not the ddrum 5 will be a good deal or not kind of depends on if it ends up actually being a version of a Tubox Drum at 3 or a Tubox Drum at 5. If it's a version of a Tubox Drum at 5, that means the ddrum 1 will be a similar sort of thing, but for $300 less. But if the guts of the module end up being more related to the Tubox Drum at 3, that means that this will be roughly the same price at some stores that the Tubox Drum at 3 is being sold at, or maybe $100 more. Now, if we take away like Tubox and just compare this versus pricing of other modules out there, it ends up being a little bit more expensive than a TD17 or a Yamaha DTX Pro, but on the same token, it ends up being a little bit less expensive than a DTX Pro X or a Roland TD27. That's where it'll sort of sit in the market. And finally, just for the nerds out there that are wondering, why is this called the ddrum 5 in the first place? What happened to the ddrum 1, 2, 3, and 4? Let's talk about that. Well, the reason is that ddrum is calling back to their legacy in the 90s when they had modules like the ddrum 3 and the ddrum 4. This is back when ddrum was like the highest end electronic drum company there was, aside from like the Cymbals SDX, which no one could actually afford. The reason why we never got a ddrum 5, 6, and 7 in the 2000s is that the owners of ddrum at the time, which was Clavia, they decided they wanted to focus on keyboards and sold off ddrum to a different company, Armadillo Enterprises. But Armadillo wasn't really interested in making a ddrum 5 at the time because they just wanted to focus on really entry-level electronic drums like the ddrum Beta series. Now, in the background of all this nonsense happening, another company hit the scene called 2Box. And this was, at least in part, made up of ex-ddrum employees. I don't know if this is 100% correct, but my understanding is that the reason why they called it the Drumit 5 is that it's a callback to the ddrum 4. Now we basically have a strange circle of life moment happening where ddrum is working with 2Box, including people that worked on the ddrum 4 to record sounds for the new ddrum 5. Keep in mind, these are the kinds of modules ddrum has been releasing over the last 20 years, so this new one, the ddrum 5, really does seem to be a move in a positive direction, regardless if it was made by a different company or not. That's the video. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end, and I'll see you in the next one.